The crystalline chamber was a world unto itself, vast enough to hold a mountain range. It didn't hum, it breathed a low, resonant thrum that vibrated deep in the bone. Ancient Tao runes, each as complex as a star chart, pulsed with soft, silver light across seamless stone walls. Towering quartz crystals, the size of ancient trees, drank the ambient energy and exhaled a steady, nourishing glow. Lin Wei stood at the epicenter of this power. His body was a tapestry of agony. Every muscle fiber screamed a protest, forged in endless repetition. His skin, mottled with bruises ranging from faint yellow to deep, angry purple, was a map of his failures. "The Tao of refining the body is not static," he muttered, his voice hoarse. Each word was a struggle against the pain. "Each fracture reveals where my vessel resists transformation." A fire kindled in his dantian, a low, searing heat that promised power but delivered only torment. Beneath his bruised skin, his tendons twitched and shuddered like overdrawn bowstrings. He saw the flaws in his mind's eye, 1,000 failures, 1,000 resets, all leading to this moment. Lin Wei flexed his fingers, the joints cracking like dry twigs. The celestial palm strike, a foundational art meant to shatter stone by aligning bone, muscle, and qi into a single explosive vector. Again. He lunged forward, his form a blur of practiced motion. Qi surged from his core, a roaring river channeled through the narrow confines of his meridians. Bang! The sound was a physical shockwave. A 10-foot-tall stone pillar shuddered violently. A web of cracks exploded from the point of impact, racing across its base like lightning. But the force recoiled. A shriek of pain escaped his gritted teeth as skin across his knuckles split open, raw and bleeding. His shoulder joint screamed, a hot lance of agony that made his entire arm tremble. A voice devoid of all emotion echoed through the chamber. It was not sound, but a direct imprint on his consciousness, the system's cold arrogance. "You reset repeatedly, yet your external cultivation remains fragmented. Raw data shows a 1.7% qi leakage at the scapular meridian nexus. Improvement requires discipline beyond repetition. It requires understanding." Lin Wei's chest heaved. He drew a sharp, ragged breath that felt like swallowing shards of glass. There was no hesitation, no flicker of doubt in his eyes. He willed it. He reset the simulation. The world dissolved into a maelstrom of light. The shattered pillar reformed, its cracks sealing like a wound healing in reverse. The blood on his hand vanished. The searing pain in his shoulder faded to a dull phantom ache. Time rewound. The chamber was pristine once more. He did not strike. He closed his eyes and focused inward. He felt the qi stuttering through his meridians, a turbulent current hitting unseen rocks. He felt the physical tendons of his shoulder straining against invisible chains, a weakness in the flesh itself. His fists quaked at his sides. The memory of torn muscle and fractured bone was still fresh. This time, he struck twice in rapid succession, pouring every ounce of will into the technique. Bang, bang! 2 distinct impacts, 2 explosions of dust from the pillar. And there it was. In the split second of the second strike, he felt it. A pattern emerged from the chaos. A tiny, almost imperceptible leakage of qi at the shoulder joint. The energy didn't just strike forward. A wisp of it dissipated, scattering like smoke into the air. Power wasted. Lin Wei gritted his teeth, the muscles in his jaw bunching into knots. The agony was a constant companion, but focus was his weapon. Muscle fibers tore again. Bones ached with a deep, penetrating cold, like steel left in a winter storm. As he pushed his body to the brink, his tendons began to pulse with a faint ethereal blue light, the first true sign of external cultivation taking root. "Each fracture is not failure," he said, his voice a grim rasp. "It is a map." He struck again. This time, his focus was not on the target, but on the flawed joint. He consciously tightened the sinew, forced the chi through a purer channel. Bang! A chunk of stone the size of his head exploded from the pillar. His palm was a bloody mess, but the recoil was different, sharper, cleaner. His muscles trembled so hard they seemed to spark, arcing with faint, jade-white light. The ambient glow of the chamber shifted. A temporal rune on the wall flared, marking the passage of another cycle. 1 day inside this place was 1 month outside. Lin Wei endured. Cracks in his flesh would knit closed, a slow, painful process that left his skin a roadmap of scars. Healing was an agonizingly incomplete process, a brief respite before the next torment. The resets continued. 10 times, 100, 1,000.
The simulation shifted. The crystalline cave dissolved, replaced by an ancient hall that breathed a quiet, primordial life. Giant spirit trees, their bark like polished silver, stretched jade-green leaves toward a floating golden altar. Their canopies were so vast they formed a living ceiling hundreds of feet above. Floating glyphs, shimmering like heat haze, hummed with a layered challenge that resonated with his soul. Lin Wei stepped forward, his bare feet silent on the cool stone floor. "The Spirit Root Trial," he whispered. The name felt heavy on his tongue, a gateway he had to pass. A ripple of golden light traveled from the altar, touching his back. It felt warm, inviting. A lie. The system's voice sneered, its arrogance more pronounced now. The Tao respects only those who accept the system's trials. Fail here, and the echoes of weakness will persist through every reincarnation. "No," Lin Wei replied, his voice soft but unyielding. "The Tao isn't dictated by a system. It's forged through relentless resolve." He looked at the pulsing altar, his gaze steady. "This trial is but a passage, not a prison." He sat on the stone platform, crossing his legs and sinking into a meditative state. His focus sharpened to a razor's edge, slicing away all distraction. The world fell away, leaving only the pillar of his own spine. The golden chi surged. It was not a gentle flow, but a torrent of molten metal roaring up his spinal column. It was a forge, and his spirit was the ore to be purified. Nightmarish pain, hot and absolute, seared his back. He felt his very nerves begin to fry. One by one, the spirit root gates, 9 spiritual locks along the spine, began to hiss under the pressure. The first one groaned, rusted shut by mortal limits. He slammed his will against it. It gave way with a silent internal scream. Sweat poured down his face, mingling with the blood that seeped from his pores. His body convulsed. Outside, the ancient trees shimmered. As the first gate opened, their jade leaves flushed with a vibrant, blooming chi, as if celebrating his breakthrough. His chi absorption deepened, pulling in the ambient energy of the hall like a maelstrom. His nervous system began to align with the flow, every synapse firing in perfect, agonizing harmony. His body, hardened by the celestial palm training, fought back against the agony. His muscles tightened against the agony, his bones resisting the spiritual pressure. This was the war between external and internal cultivation, a pure torment fought within his own flesh, but it was vital. The simulation shifted again. The grand hall vanished. A rugged, wind-swept valley waited.
The ground was littered with shattered stones and the sun-bleached bones of massive spirit beasts. A rib cage the size of a carriage lay half buried in the dirt. A figure swaggered out from behind a rock formation, his robes finer, his aura thicker, more oppressive. A core formation realm cultivator, his power radiated from him in palpable waves. He clenched his fist, and the air around it crackled with violet arcs of lightning, the thunder fist technique, a pure expression of internal chi. Pathetic, the bully sneered, his eyes scanning Lin Wei's bruised and battered form. Your flesh still quivers beneath the surface. You grind your body like a mortal blacksmith, but do you even know what real pain is? Lin Wei's gaze was ice cold, as empty and unforgiving as a winter sky. Pain teaches limits, he said flat, but you mistake my training ground for your victory. The bully roared with laughter, then charged. Boom! His fist broke the sound barrier. A cone of compressed air blasted forward, tearing a trench in the rocky ground. But Lin Wei was already gone. He sidestepped with a speed that defied mortal eyes, a flicker, an afterimage. The faint blue glow in his tendons became a brilliant, steady light. His muscles rippled, not with brute force, but with the coiled tension of a lightning strike about to be unleashed. Dragon coil grip, he murmured, the name an exhalation of focused intent. His hand lashed out. It was not a punch, but a snare. His fingers, now inhumanely strong, became like 5 iron cables. He didn't meet the bully's next punch. He intercepted the arm. Bang! The bully's arm locked, the force of his own blow turning back on him. His eyes widened in shock and agony. A harsh, wet crack echoed through the valley, the sound of a shoulder being ripped from its socket. The bully stumbled back, clutching his ruined arm. The arrogance in his eyes had evaporated, replaced by pure, unadulterated terror. Surrender. Lin Wei's features remained impassive, a mask of cold stone. The valley dissolved. A boundless, star-dusted space stretched out before him, the after-effects chamber. Floating golden runes, remnants of the completed trials, orbited him like silent planets. Then they began to fracture, breaking apart into glittering shards of pure, condensed chi. Experience chi shards, he realized, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. This was the system's reward, the payment for his pain. They didn't wait for permission. The golden shards spiraled towards him, a miniature galaxy converging on his body. They passed through his skin without resistance, dissolving directly into his meridians. His muscles tensed, spasming violently, and then relaxed into a profound rejuvenation. The hairline fractures in his bones knit together, thickening, becoming more dense and more resilient. His skin hardened, taking on a faint metallic sheen as pain flooded his system anew, an ecstatic and brutal agony of growth. The Tao demands payment, Lin Wei breathed, his voice filled with a strange reverence. Power is forged from pain and iteration. The system's voice returned, its tone steady and neutral, a statement of fact. Experience points procured reflect your resolve. Use wisely. Pain and growth are 2 halves of the same blade. Lin Wei's eyes flashed, no longer just human, but forged with something harder. His body was a battered vessel, reforged 1,000 times in the crucible of failure. His will was a diamond, compressed and hardened by impossible pressure, unbreakable. In the distance, a new light began to glow, a new altar. The next trial loomed. He stepped forward into the grinding reality.